Good morning, students. I am T. Duve. Your English exam is on Monday, 26 February, counted 14 days from now. So it is very important for you to do full sets. Only then you can know what percentage of marks you are likely to score. And therefore, I am uploading these full sets. I would advise you to do these sets 2 times. First, you write down all the answers on notebooks as discussed by me, and then you do the same set without taking any help from my discussion. In this way you can self-check what you have understood and what you should revise again. In case you face any problem, any difficulty anywhere, write down your doubt in the message box of this lecture. I will discuss your problem in my coming lecture. Now, let us begin the discussion of set number 2, which was asked last year. Every question of the set is very important. So, give time in understanding. I have already uploaded set number 1, which was asked in 2023, that means last year. So, if you haven't done, I would advise you to do that, and then you compare both the sets. Now let us begin discussion of set 2. Look at this question paper. This is set number 2, series number WYXZ1/2, and this is where you have to write down your roll number, which has been issued to you by CBSE. And again, time allowed is 3 hours and maximum marks is 80. These are important pieces of information that you must read carefully, and then these are general instructions of which you are fully aware. Now let us go to section A. So as I suggested in my previous set, that whenever you have to do the reading comprehension, first of all you look at the given passage and the questions following it. You can see there are 10 questions, and then read the passage carefully, underlining important key points and phrases that can help you not only understand the passage but also store or keep the important points related to the passage in your mind. Now let us begin reading and understanding the passage. Organic food is very popular these days. It can also be very expensive. Some organic food costs twice as much as non-organic food. Parents of young children and even some pet owners will pay high prices for organic food if they think it is healthier. But many others think organic food is just a waste of money. Now let us understand paragraph number 1. So this paragraph is talking about organic food and tells us that it has become popular but expensive. It also says that some people are ready to pay high prices for organic food, thinking that organic food is healthier. But there are others also who think that organic food is just a waste of money. So paragraph number 1 is talking about organic food and saying that it has become popular but it is expensive. But parents of young children are ready to pay high prices for organic food, thinking that organic food is healthier, but there are other people who think that organic food is just a waste of money. So this is what we are learning from paragraph number 1. Now look at paragraph number 2. There is one main difference between organic and non-organic food. Organic farms do not use agricultural chemicals such as pesticides that stop insects from damaging crops. In many countries, foods that claim to be organic must have special labels that guarantee they are grown organically. The second paragraph is talking about difference between organic and non-organic food. And the difference is organic foods do not use agricultural chemicals. This is the main difference. In other words, if I have to explain, I would like to tell you that so far as organic food is concerned, it does not use agricultural chemicals. What are agricultural chemicals? Pesticides. So you must be knowing that so far as pesticides are concerned, they are used by farmers to stop insects from damaging the crops. The next part of this paragraph tells us that in many countries, the names of the countries are not mentioned over here. In many countries, foods that claim to be organic must have special labels that guarantee they are grown organically. So basically this paragraph is talking about two important points. Number 1, it is talking about difference between organic and non-organic food, and says that so far as organic food is concerned, it does not use agricultural chemicals such as pesticides that stop insects. The other point that is important in the second paragraph is that foods that claim to be organic must be marked with special labels, that show, that guarantee that those foods are organically grown. Now let us read the third paragraph. Some people think organic also means locally grown, and originally it was indeed true. But over a period of time, organic farming has become a big business, with many organic foods now being grown by large agricultural companies that sell their products far from where they are grown. Processed food made with organic ingredients has also become more popular. At first, only small companies produced these products, but as demand overtook supply, big food companies that had been selling non-organic products for many years also began selling organic products. So now let us understand what the third paragraph tells us. It reads that some people think the meaning of organic food differently. So in the previous paragraph, organic food is that food which does not use agricultural chemicals such as pesticides. But in the third paragraph, the meaning of organic food is changed. Organic food is those foods which are locally grown. And the author says that it was true also. True also means the organic food used to be grown locally. But over a period of time, organic farming has become a big business, with many organic foods now being grown by large agricultural companies that sell their products far from where they are grown. So nowadays, this change is coming. Nowadays, what is happening? Many big or large agricultural companies are growing organic food far from the market and selling them in far away market. For example, processed food made with organic ingredients has also become more popular. At first, only small companies produced these products, but as demand overtook supply, big companies that had been selling non-organic products for many years began selling organic products. So if a question comes, why did big companies begin selling organic products? Your answer will be, big companies started selling organic product because demand overtook supply. So the third paragraph is talking about that some people think that organic food is locally grown, and earlier it was true also because it was a business done by small companies. But when demand of organic food started increasing, started going up, then big companies that used to sell non-organic products also began selling organic products. So this is paragraph number 3. And now let us read paragraph number 4. Is organic food safer and more nutritious? This is an important part of the debate. Many farmers and consumers believe it is safer and more nutritious. They think that agricultural chemicals can cause serious illness such as cancer, but there isn't much evidence proving this is true. However, recent studies have shown that eating organically grown produce reduces your chances of developing heart diseases. Many doctors think that it is more important to stop dangerous bacteria from contaminating foods. These bacteria can contaminate both organic and non-organic fruits and vegetables, and doctors recommend washing produce carefully before eating it. Meat, fish, and chicken can also become contaminated, so washing your hands before handling these foods is also very important. So the fourth paragraph is talking about a debate, and that debate is organic food safer and more nutritious? This is an important part of the debate. So two groups of people have two different types of ideas. Some farmers and consumers believe that it is true, organic food is safer and more nutritious. These people think that agricultural chemicals can cause serious diseases, illnesses such as cancer. So many farmers, many consumers, farmers, those who are growing organic food, believe, and many consumers also believe, that the pesticides, the agricultural chemicals that are used in growing non-organic foods can cause serious illnesses such as cancer. But the author says that there isn't much evidence to prove this. But recent studies show that eating organically grown produce reduces chances of developing heart diseases. So this is talking about this debate. Now, what are the opinions of many doctors? Many doctors think that it is more important to stop dangerous bacteria. And how can these dangerous bacteria be stopped? By washing produce, that means fruits and vegetables, and by washing hands. So if we have to summarize this passage, we can say the passage is talking about organic food, and then the second paragraph is talking about difference between organic and non-organic food. The third paragraph is talking about another meaning of organic food, which means it is used to be believed to be locally grown. But this concept of locally grown food is changed. It is changing because large agricultural companies have entered this market of organic food. And paragraph number 4 is talking about a debate, which is organic food safer and more nutritious? And two different groups have two different views. One group of people, which includes many farmers and consumers, believe it is safer and more nutritious because they think that so far as agricultural chemicals are concerned, they cause serious illnesses such as cancer. But the author says that there isn't much evidence to prove that agricultural chemicals cause serious illnesses such as cancer. The other group is the group of doctors. They say that it is important to wash off bacteria by washing the fruits and vegetables, and even also by washing hands. So this is the passage. Let us begin answering the questions based on this paragraph. Question number 1. People are willing to pay high prices for organic food because it is not easily available, it helps in weight loss, it is produced by small companies, it does not contain agricultural chemicals. I think you should have no problem in marking the answer. So the passage says that people are willing to pay high prices for organic food because organic food does not contain agricultural chemicals. It is given in paragraph number 2. We have already read. Look at question number 2. Select the option that displays what the writer projects with reference to the following. Is organic food safer and more nutritious? This is an important part of the debate. So this statement is given at the opening part of the 4th paragraph. So by making this statement, is organic food safer and more nutritious? This is an important part of the debate. So what is the writer projecting here? Writer is projecting here means what kind of opinion is he forming by making this statement? Is the author denying? Denial means denying. No, it isn't. He is not denying that organic food is safer and more nutritious. Is he confirming? No, he is not confirming. Also, it is not confirmation. Is he cautioning? Yes, it is a caution. It is a warning. Now, why is it a caution? Why is it a warning? Because there isn't much evidence to prove that organic food is safer and more nutritious. So he's asking us to be cautious about such kind of claim. So author is asking us to be cautious, to be alert about such kind of claim. So it is not acceptance also. Now complete the following with a phrase from paragraph number 3. So when we go to paragraph number 3, this line is given, this opinion is given. Big food companies have started selling organic food products. Now, why have big companies started selling organic food products? Because I have already underlined this part. Big food companies have started selling have begun selling organic food products because demand has overtaken supply. So this will be the answer. Let us see whether this is given or not. So here you have to write reason. Reason is because demand has overtaken supply. That will be your reason. Now let us move to question number 4. The writer contrasts organic food to not organic food. State one point of comparison between the two. So the second paragraph is talking about the difference between organic and non-organic food. And the author says that so far as organic food is concerned, it does not use agricultural chemicals such as pesticides, and non-organic food uses agricultural chemicals. So that is the main difference between organic and non-organic food. Now look at question number 5. Based on your reading of the text, list one benefit of eating organic food. So one benefit of eating organic food is it reduces, here this is your answer, it reduces chances of developing heart diseases. This is major benefit. Now moving on to question number 6. What connect does the writer draw between contamination of food and washing hands? This is given in the 4th paragraph. So writer says that washing food, washing produce can make it contamination free. Likewise, washing hands can also make the food bacteria free. So this is the comparison between washing produce or fruit, meat and fish, and washing hands. Now moving on to question number 7. The writer says that people believe that it is safer and more nutritious to eat organic food. Select the reason for his skeptical view. Skeptical means doubtful view. So the writer is skeptical about organic food, that it is safer and more nutritious. So what is the reason for his being doubtful? The price decides the popularity. There is no confirmed evidence. It is tastier. It is marketed by big food companies. So this line has been given. There is no confirmed evidence. Here the writer says there isn't, there isn't much evidence to prove this truth. There isn't much difference. Now let us move to next question. Supply one point to justify the following. Some people think that organic also means locally grown. This is given in paragraph number 3. Some people think that organic also means locally grown, and the author says that is originally it was true. Originally it was true. What was true? Over a period of time, organic farming has become a big business, with many organic foods now being grown by large agricultural companies that sell products far off. Processed food made with organic foods has also become more popular. Right. At first, this line can also be quoted. At first, only small companies produced these products locally. Therefore, this is true. Now let us move to next question. Supply one method of how we can control the contamination of organic food and non-organic food by washing the produce. In paragraph number 4, the author says that we can stop the contamination of organic and non-organic food by washing the produce and by washing our hands. Then question number 10. List one factor that certifies food to be organic. So the author has suggested that a special labels should be marked. This is number 6. Here it is. Foods that claim to be organic must have special labels that guarantee they are grown organically. They are grown organically. So this is all about the first passage. Hope you must have understood. Now let us begin discussion of the second passage. It has 4 paragraphs. Have a look. And based on these 4 paragraphs, we have similar 10 questions. You can see. Okay. So now let us go to the passage. And this time what I will do, I will read all the 4 paragraphs at one stretch, and then I'll explain the entire passage together. So let us begin with the first paragraph. According to a new study, a vast blanket of pollution stretching across South Asia is cutting down sunlight by 10% over India, damaging agriculture, modifying rain patterns, and putting hundreds of thousands of people at risk. It is said acids in the haze may, by falling as acid rain, have the potential to damage crops and trees. Ash falling on leaves can aggravate the impact of reduced sunlight on the Earth's surface. The pollution that is forming the haze could be leading to several hundreds of thousands of premature deaths as a result of higher levels of respiratory diseases. Paragraph number 3. The haze has cut down sunlight over India by 10% so far. A huge amount. As a repercussion, means as a result, the northwest of India is drying up. Professor V. Ramanathan said when asked specifically about the impact of the haze over India. He said, "We are still in an early stage of understanding the impact of the haze." Professor V. Ramanathan was asked whether the current droughts in most parts of India after over a decade of good monsoons was owing to the haze. He said, "It was too early to reach a conclusion. If the droughts persist for about 4 to 5 years, then we would start suspecting that it would be because of the haze. India, China and Indonesia are the worst affected owing to their population density, economic growth and depleting forest cover." Now let me explain this passage in simple language. So the first paragraph is talking about a new study which says that a vast blanket of pollution is building up or stretching across South Asia. And this vast blanket of pollution is reducing sunlight over India by 10%. As a result of this vast blanket of pollution and reduction in sunlight by 10%, these are the damages taking place. So in simple language, this passage is talking about a blanket of pollution that is building up in South Asia and its impact on India. So first paragraph is talking about that this vast blanket of pollution that is spreading or stretching across South Asia is reducing sunlight over India by 10%. And this reduction of sunlight over India by 10% is damaging agriculture, changing rainfall patterns, and putting hundreds of thousands of people at risk. Then the second paragraph is talking about how this pollution is returning on the earth. Then it is said that acids in the haze may, by falling as acid rain, have the potential to damage crops, as falling on leaves can aggravate the impact of reduced sunlight on the earth's surface. The pollution that is forming the haze could be leading to several hundreds of thousands of premature deaths as a result of higher levels of respiratory diseases. So here in first paragraph it has been said that this reduction of sunlight by 10% is putting hundreds of thousands of people at risk. How? This explanation, the reason has been given in the second paragraph. Reason is this: it is creating respiratory diseases, and this is how it is affecting our crops and trees. So the second paragraph is giving the explanation how this vast blanket of pollution is going to damage our crops and trees, and how it is going to put hundreds of thousands of people at risk, because it will cause higher level of respiratory or breathing problems related to our breathing. Now paragraph number 3 and 4 are talking about the study shown by Professor V. Ramanathan. So it says that the haze has cut down sunlight over India by 10% according to the survey that has been mentioned in the first paragraph. As a repercussion, that means as a result, the northwest of India we can talk about Haryana, we can talk about Punjab, we can talk about Gujarat. So as a result, the northwest of India is drying up, says Professor V. Ramanathan. When asked specifically about the impact of the haze over India, this is Ramanathan's reading. He says that we are still in an early stage of understanding the impact of the haze. So Professor V. Ramanathan says that it will be too early because they are studying the impact of this vast blanket of pollution that is building up in South Asia. Then when Professor V. Ramanathan was asked that the drought situation that is taking place in these states, is it because of this vast blanket of pollution? Then he says it is too early to reach a conclusion. If the droughts persist for about 4 to 5 years, then we could start suspecting that it may be because of the haze. So this is his assessment, that if this drought-like situation continue to persist for about 4 to 5 years, then it could be suspected, it could be doubted that this blanket is actually causing this drought-like situation or these droughts in those northwestern states of our country. And then last sentence is, India, China and Indonesia are the worst affected countries owing to their population density, economic growth and depleting forest cover. So this is your passage. Now let us move to question. What? So question number 1. Based on your understanding of the passage, answer the questions given below. In for one reason for the following based on the information in paragraph 1. So this statement is given: in India, rainfall patterns are changing. In India, rainfall patterns are changing. If I change the language of this question, then this question can be like, what is the reason that in India rainfall patterns are changing? So this answer, you can say, it is because of the first line of the first paragraph will be. So you can say the rainfall patterns are changing because of a vast blanket of pollution stretching across South Asia. So this will be your answer. This will be your answer starting from here, this part and this part. This is your answer to question number 1. Then question number 2. The pollution spreading across South Asia is affecting India. Choose the correct option from the ones given below. Spoiling blankets, damaging agriculture, then putting people at risk, modifying. So which of these four statements are correct? So here you can see these are all 4 are given. Number 1, damaging agriculture, then modifying rainfall patterns, then putting hundreds of thousands of people at risk. These 3 are given over. So whatever is not given in that paragraph, that means here statements are given. So this is not given. This vast blanket of pollution is not spoiling our blankets. So our answer statements will be 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, that means this one. Let us move on to next question. Complete the following analogy. Analogy means comparison correctly with a word or phrase from paragraph 2. Possibility, suspecting and doubting, these 2 are similar in meaning. So possibility, so what can be a word which is similar in meaning to the word possibility from paragraph number 2? So let us see that word. Acids in the haze may be falling as acid rain, have the potential. This potential means possibility. Potential is the right word here. There is no other word? No. So potential will be the right word for this part. So write potential here. Okay. Now let us move to question number 4. Select the correct option to complete the sentence. Droughts were caused by the haze. Strong evidence suggested that. Past surveys confirmed that. There has not been enough time to determine that. And superstitious people believe that. Your answer will be C. Why C? Let us know. So there has not been enough time to determine. Here Professor Ramanathan says that it is too early to reach a conclusion. It means, and here also he says we are still in an early stage of understanding of the impact of the haze. So this is the same statement can be rewritten like that. There has not been enough time to determine the impact of that vast blanket of pollution. From the following pie chart, identify one reason each which does and does not contribute to weather disruption. That means one that contribute to weather disruption and one that does not. So here you have to cut into 2 and then you have to find out which does and which does not. So what are the reasons for this? Which reason, population boom is not mentioned here. Reduced sunlight, yes. So this will be your one reason. And another reason that does not is, you can use population boom can also be reason that does not. So you can mention this also, like you can say that pollution boom does not contribute to population boom does not contribute to pollution and reduced sunlight does. So one reason will be does not contribute population boom and contributes reduced sunlight. Organic farming is not mentioned. Aerosols not mentioned. Ash, here ash has been mentioned. So you can mention ash. Depleting forest cover is not mentioned. Acid rain is mentioned. So there are several factors one of these you can use. 3 factors are given. Good monsoon does not, free cover does not. So there are 3 that does not. One of the 3 means you can write E. You can write one, either population boom, or you can write good monsoon, or you can write free cover. Any of the 3 that does not. And reduced sunlight, organic for reduced sunlight, ash and acid rain, one of the factors does. Now let us move to question number 5. List 2 phenomena which lead to weather disruptions. So what are the 2 phenomena that lead to weather disruption? So weather disruptions are, one of them is this one, weather disruption by sunlight reduction, and pollution. Pollution, sunlight reduction, then you can say acid rain, acids or acid rain. So you can use this acid rain, you can use pollution. So these are the 2 phenomena that are changing our weather pattern. Now let us move to question number 6. Question number 6 is, fill in the blank by selecting the correct option. As falling on leaves can. So here as falling in paragraph number 2, here it is written, as falling on leaves can aggravate. So aggravate is also means worsen. So here worsen word is given. That will be your answer. Aggravate means become worse or worsen, or other words you can use deteriorate, right? Next, question number 7. Substitute the word repercussion with one word similar in meaning in the following sentences from paragraph number 3. So I have already discussed that repercussion means result. So you can use the word result which is given in paragraph number 3. You can check here, result word is also given here. So as a result, somewhere it was written impact, this is repercussion, and result word was given. The haze has cut down sunlight over India by 10%. When asked about, so this result is given here, right? But they have mentioned paragraph number 3. So repercussion is given. Substitute the word repercussion with one word similar in meaning in the following sentence from paragraph number 3. In paragraph number 3 we do not see any word that means repercussion. The haze has cut down sunlight over India by 10%, a huge amount. As a repercussion means as a result, the northwest of India is drying up. Professor V. Ramanathan said when asked specifically about the impact, impact can also be the answer. Impact means result of the haze of India. So this impact can also be. You can leave this result word. You can write the word impact. So impact means result. It's correct. It's correct. Okay. Impact means result, consequences. So that's okay. Now moving on to question number 8. List any 2 countries which are affected due to depleting forest. So towards the end of the 4th paragraph, the names of 3 countries have been given: India, China and Indonesia. You can write any 2 of them. Which of the following mean the same as persist? Persist means continue. So continue means C. And number 10, select the option that titles paragraphs 1 to 4 appropriately with reference to information in the text. That means you have summary has been given here. Means each paragraph has been summarized. Title has been given. So which one will suit? Impact of pollution. First First paragraph is talking about impact of pollution. Okay. Second is talking about acid rain. Fine. True. Second is talking about, let's see, second is talking about acid rain. Yeah, acid rain. Third is talking about haze, and fourth is talking about drought. So acid rain, haze, drought. Pollution, acid rain, pollution, acid rain, haze, droughts. Answer A will be the right. So this is your second passage. Now let us move to grammar section. Now let us quickly do the grammar section. Look at question number 1. The teacher motivated the students by letting them know that if they blank space submit their assignments by the end of the day, they might get an opportunity to watch the match. Did not, must, would, were. The correct answer to this question will be would. Why? Because this clause is in the past tense. You can see here the teacher motivated. The teacher motivated the students by letting them know that if they would submit, here submit is basic form of the verb, that means first form of the verb. So negative will not go here. Must will not go because already if is added here. So if this clause is starting with if, it cannot be must. It cannot be certain because if always gives which is not certain. So if they would and were will not go because it will not match with submit. So the correct answer will be would. Now look at question number 2. Read the conversation between a coach and his player. Complete the sentence by reporting the player's reply correctly. Coach: will you be able to report for morning practice during the summer break? Player: sir, I will report every morning at 7 a.m. sharp. The coach, while talking to the player, asked him whether he would be able to report for morning practice. The player affirmed that he would report every morning at 7 a.m. sharp. So he affirmed that he would. Here this I will change to I will change to I would because the tense is simple future. So simple future will change into would because the reporting clause is in the past. So finally you listen once again. The player affirmed that he would report every morning at 7 a.m. sharp. Moving on to next question. Try to solve it with me. Select the correct option to fill in the blank for the given line from a daily newspaper. The cars were stopped going any further due to a traffic diversion. So here you have to use preposition. The cars were stopped to going, wrong. To will not be followed by gerund. From, within, by. The correct answer will be from. So stopped from going. Stopped means here the cars were prevented or stopped, or in other words you can say the cars were not allowed to go. So the correct preposition will be from. Moving on to question number 4. Select the option that identifies the error and supplies the correction for the following traffic advisory. Whoever drove a motor vehicle without a safety belt or carries passengers without seat belts will be fined. So here drove is given in the simple past tense. It is wrong. It should be drives because this is talking about an advisory which should be in simple present tense. So in place of drove it should be drives. Your correct answer will be A. Moving on to question number 5. Complete the given narrative by filling the blank with the correct option. Not only did Mayank work hard to win the trophy. So here the sentence is beginning with not only, which is a correlative conjunction, and not only goes with but also. So he as well as but he also, the correct answer will be B. And he also, just as. So your correct answer will be but also because not only goes with but also. Moving on to question number 6. Fill in the blank by using the correct form of the word given in the brackets. The names of the applicants were in the report and submit it to the manager. Here the correct verb form will be listed because the verb should be in the passive voice. So the correct sentence will be, the names of the applicants were listed in the report and submitted to the manager. Moving on to question number 7. Complete the statement with the appropriate option. 2/3 of the students present at the inaugural function. The correct verb will be were, because when 2/3 is followed by a countable noun, then the verb will be plural. But if it is followed by an uncountable noun, then the verb will be singular. So here the following noun is countable plural, therefore it should be were. Identify the error on a shop's hoarding and supply the correction. Worldwide Travels Private Limited. For travel informations, contact the 24-hour help desk. This information's word is wrong because information word is uncountable, so it should be information. So write here information and write correct here information. Question number 9. It says, select the correct option to complete the narration of the dialogue between Ajay and his friend. Ajay. Friend. Ajay, did you buy a zoom lens with your camera? Ajay. No, I did not. I ran out of money. So Ajay's friend asked Ajay whether he had bought a zoom lens with his camera. Ajay replied that he had not because he had run out of money. This ran out of money will be changed into past perfect tense. He had run out of money. Remember that simple past changes into past perfect. So it should be he had run out of money. Where is that answer? He had run out of money. Question number 10. Fill in the blank by choosing the correct option. His brother along with his friends is leaving, because when two nouns are connected with along with, the first noun is a subject. So here his brother is singular, so verb should also be singular. So this, and here has cannot go because the following verb is leaving. So has will be followed by the past participle. Moving on to question number 11. Complete the given narrative by filling in the blank with the correct option. The residents promised to the president of the association in his demand for proper garbage disposal systems. So the residents promised to. So here to is a particle which will be followed by the basic form of the verb. So let us see where is the basic form of the verb. Stood by wrong, stand by is correct, stand against is wrong, stood for is wrong because to will not be followed by the second form of the verb. So stand by means support, because the sentence is talking about the residents promised to stand by the support. The residents promised to support the president of the association in his demand because here you see proper garbage disposal systems. Fill in the blank with the correct option. The number of people attending this evening's annual function is fewer than. So correct answer will be fewer because here than shows that the given adjective should be in the comparative form. So fewer is comparative form, few is not, less is also comparative but is used for uncountable noun, and much cannot go. So the correct answer will be fewer. Now after we have discussed the grammar section, let us move on to paragraph and analytical passage writing. Now let us do the letter. You can see it has two options, option A and B. And whenever you have two such options, I always advise you to read both the choices carefully and attempt the one that you find is easier to do. Why? Because whenever you are attempting an easier question, you can frame your sentences properly, you can organize your ideas in a systematic manner, and you will have less chances of making mistakes or grammatical errors. So let us read both of these options and then decide which one we should do. You are Mohita of E46, Shalimar Bagh, Delhi. you came across news articles about neglect of elders in today's society. Disturbed after reading the articles, you decide to write a letter to the editor of the Hindustan Times, stressing upon the need of sensitizing children to the plight and loneliness of the elders and to inculcate in them values of caring and sharing. You can also express your views on strengthening of family values. Write your letter in 100 to 120 words. Or you are Rajani or Rakesh Kothari, Director Marketing in Oil Spices Manufacturing Unit. You have observed the commitment with which your assistant manager works. Write a letter in 100 to 120 words to express assistant manager Sadiq Qureshi congratulating him on his work ethic and professional approach. Also include a mention of his commitment, sense of responsibility, good interpersonal skills, and his spirit of teamwork. So now on reading the two choices, you must have realized that option A is easier for you to do. Why? Because the topic is very common. You have to write about the neglect of elders in today's society. So whenever you have such kind of topic, you can frame your sentences properly, organize your ideas in a systematic manner, and you will have less chances of making grammatical errors. So I would advise you to answer this question. I have written the letter and showing you how you should write. So let me take you to the answer part. So this is the format. Here it is sender's address followed by date, then the receiver's address, subject, salutation, body of the letter, and the writer's name. Read this letter very carefully and try to write your sentences in similar fashion. These are short sentences, to the point, and well organized. To try to write your answer in the way I am suggesting you. Now let me take you to the analytical writing skill. Now let us do the analytical paragraph writing. Again, it has two choices. So before we go to any one of the two, let us read the questions first. It is distressing to see the attitude of people towards animals. The number of cases of cruelty towards animals is increasing. The following pie chart represents the attitude of people towards animals. Write an analytical paragraph in 100 to 120 words interpreting the data given in the pie chart. So this topic is very common. It is ill treatment of animals. And this pie chart is showing different forms of cruelty inflicted by people towards the animals. This white part that accounts for 52% is showing selfish interest of people. Means whenever these people think that animals are no longer useful, whenever they deem animals no longer useful, then they discard them, they abandon them. Then this part 34% shows that people show indifferent, they are indifferent to animals' interest, whether they are suffering, whether they are in trouble. So these people have no interest in animals' welfare, and 14% people, which is being represented by these lines, abuse animals physically. So these are different forms of cruelty inflicted upon animals by people. So this topic is very common. Now let us see the second one. In this topic, what we see, Study the bar chart given below. The chart depicts the number of students in class 12 opting for humanities, science and commerce streams in urban and rural areas. Based on the details given in the bar chart given below, write an analytical paragraph in 100 to 120 words. So this bar chart is depicting students from urban area and students in rural areas and their preferences for humanities, science and commerce. So in rural area we can see humanities is the most preferred option, and in urban areas, so far as science stream is concerned, it is more preferred option. So far as commerce is concerned, by and large, though not equal, so far as commerce is concerned, in rural areas, in rural schools and colleges, you can say schools, not colleges, students have equal, by and large, equal preference for commerce. But the change is between humanities and science. So far as humanities is concerned, it is not a popular stream in urban schools, but it is, as I have already explained, it is a very, science is not that favorite among rural youth. So if we analyze data of this figure and data represented by this figure, this will be easier for you to write, and I have written this analytical paragraph. You read it very carefully and write in the way I have shown. So here is the answer to that question. The data from the pie chart highlights a concerning trend in the treatment of animals, with various forms of cruelty being identified. A significant portion, more than 50%, we have seen 52% people, display a selfish disregard for animals. They view them, they means animals, solely through the lens of personal gain and discard them, that means abandon them, leave them when they are no longer deemed useful. So this answer shows proper analysis of the data shown on the pie chart that we have seen, depicting cruelty inflicted upon animals in different forms. So you write this answer a number of times so that you can get perfection in writing. Now let us move on to literature section. Now let us do section C, literature. It will give you 40 marks. Question number 6. Attempt any one from A and B given below. So this extract, I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Kissing had assigned me and I was satisfied. So this extract has been taken from the diary of Anne Frank. Easier. And what is its alternative? His landlord disliked him and tried to eject him in revenge. So this extract is taken from Footprints Without Feet. So I think this one you should do. Though you can do both, but here I am suggesting you what you should do during the examination. So let us read the extract and then I'll discuss the answers. I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Kissing had assigned me and was satisfied. I assured that as much as I did, if not more, and that's there, not much one can do about inherited traits. So this is talking about inherited traits. Now let us see what questions are. Who was Mr. Kissing? So if you remember the chapter, Mr. Kissing was Anne Frank's mathematics teacher. And here all the options that are given are wrong. Option A is saying that he was her English teacher, social science teacher, warden, principal. So if you write any option here, you must be given marks, right? Because all the options are wrong. Now question number 2. According to the extract, the incorrigible habit means the habit that cannot be cured, that is called incorrigible, that cannot be reformed or cured, that cannot be corrected. So according to the extract, the incorrigible habit possessed by the speaker was making noise in class, talking too much, procrastinating, coming late to class, or asking irritating questions. Answer to this question will be 2. Because she had a habit of talking too much. Mr. Kissing had given her punishment for talking too much in the class. The word procrastinating means delaying in doing something. So here option B will be right, only 2. Moving on to the third question. Complete the analogy. Analogy means comparison. So complete the comparison by selecting the suitable word from the extract. Routine and habit. So routine and habit are similar in meaning. Whatever you do in routine, it is your habit. So characteristic means nature. What word from extract will come? Nature. That will be, I argued that this trait means characteristic. So characteristic is similar in meaning to the word trait. So write here trait. Select the reason why the narrator is unable to control her trait. Already given here. So if you remember, here it is written in the extract because that there is not much one can do about inherited trait. And she argued that talking is a student's trait, and that I would do my best to keep it under control, but I would never be able to cure myself of the habit since my mother talked as much as I did. So this was her argument. So this must be in the given option. Let us see. She had deliberately practiced it. She wanted to be different from her brother. Her teacher had encouraged her to continue as she was, or she had inherited it. She had inherited it from her mother. The last line about inherited traits. So she had taken this quality from her mother. Which of the following most nearly means the opposite of the phrase under control? To spend less? No. Unable to take on the challenge, find it difficult to manage, or being very stubborn. So under control, to spend less, or unable to take on the challenge, find it difficult to manage. This will be your answer. When you find it difficult to manage, you can say find it manageable. It should have been phrase under control. Opposite is find it difficult to manage. So when you find something difficult to manage, the situation is not under control. And if it is manageable, then it is under control. So option C is opposite to the phrase under control. Likewise, you can solve this extract also, because these are important previous year extracts, so they become important. Now let me take you to the next question. Now let us do question number 7, and you can see the instruction is asking you to attempt any one from A and B given below. So here also you have two choices, this extract or if sometime when roaming round a noble wild beast greets you. So this extract has been taken from the poem how to tell wild animals. What about B? He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. So this extract has been taken from the tiger in the zoo, right? So from examination point of view, I would advise you to go for the second one, because comparatively a tiger in the zoo is easier to understand in comparison to how to tell wild animals. But because this is a previous year's question, so you will solve it on your own. Pause the video, do the question on your own and check its answer, and I am showing you the explanation of its B option. Let us read it first. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. He stalks in his vivid stripes a few steps of his cage. Now let us see the question. Whose is the last voice heard by the tiger? Patrolling cars. Here, he hears the last voice at night. The sound, the last voice is the voice of the patrolling cars. Complete the sentence appropriately. It is clear that repetition is the poetic device used for his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Because, so here you have to explain how repetition applies here. So in order to answer this question, so far as repetition is concerned, here brilliant word has been used once and here it is twice. So you have to write in this blank space that repetition is used to emphasize the brilliance. So here this brilliant is being used to emphasize the brilliance of eyes, and brilliance means shine. So brilliance of tiger's eyes and brilliance of stars. So this is, or you can also say that repetition is used to create a musical effect. So brilliance, when somebody is repeating brilliance 2 times, so it is creating musical effect. So you can use either of the two. Repetition is used to emphasize brilliance or to give or to create musical effect. So this is how you can explain. Now let us move on to question number 3. The main contrasting ideas in this extract are tiger and deer, cruelty and sympathy, confinement and freedom, master and slave. Answer is C. So this extract is talking about confinement, when the tiger is kept within in cage, and his longing for freedom. So it is talking about the use of the word stalks creates an image of what? Stalks means walking. So when the tiger is walking, what is it showing? Is it showing that the tiger is cowardice, means timid, frustration, or he is lazy, or purposefulness? So it is showing his frustration, because he is kept within a cage. He is kept inside a cage. So it is showing his frustration. Now moving on to question number 5. State whether the following statement is true or false. The poem uses staring at the sky to emphasize the freedom he yearns for. So let me explain it in simple language. So far as the given extract is concerned, it is showing that the tiger is staring at the sky. So what does it symbolize? What does it symbolize? So it symbolizes freedom. The tiger is staring at the star with hope that as the stars are free, so someday or the other he will also get his freedom and go to his natural habitat, that is the forest. So it is correct. So statement, the given statement is true. Now let us move on to the next question. Now let us discuss the short answer type questions. And always remember, whenever you are asked to write only 4 answers, write only 4. Do not write answers to all the questions. So read the questions carefully. What is the Indian legend about the discovery of tea? So this question has been taken from your chapter Glimpses of India, and I am taking you to that specific paragraph. This paragraph is your answer. So you read it and create your answer from here. We have an Indian legend too. Bodhidharma, an ancient Buddhist ascetic, cut off his eyelids because he felt sleepy during meditations. 10 tea plants grew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants, when put into hot water and drunk, banished sleep. So this is Indian legend. Now look at this line. Now we are really going to get some water women. So here Lencho is hoping for rain. Now the second part of the question is, why did he hope for rain? Answer to that part is this. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. So this should be answer to the second part. Lencho hoped for rain because the field of his ripe corn, which was dotted with the flowers and that promised a good harvest, needed a downpour or at least a shower. So this will be answer to, this highlighted part will be answer to this question. Now let us move on to the next question. Now look at question number C. I'll take the risk. What is the risk? What does the narrator take it? Why does the narrator take it? So this question has been taken from the chapter Two Stories About Flying. So let us go to this part of that story. So look at this statement. I'll take the risk. This is the statement that has been used in framing that question. Now, what is the risk? The risk is flying, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. So you have to write that the risk was flying his old Dakota straight through the storm clouds. And why did he want to take that risk? Answer to this part is here. He wanted to get home and he wanted his English breakfast. So this will be answer to the question. Now let us move to the next question. Now look at question number D. What impression do you form about Amanda in the poem? And the next question is, what did Siddhartha Gautam come across by chance when he was about 25 years old? So of the two questions, I think you should go for E. And always remember, I am suggesting to answer these questions because these questions help you score full marks. And when you are sitting for your final examination, your main aim, your main purpose should be scoring marks and not attempting the question that you will know less. So let me show you answer to this question. So look at the sentences that I am highlighting. At about the age of 25, the prince, heretofore shielded from the sufferings of the world, while out hunting, chanced upon a sick man, 1, then an aged man, 2, then a funeral procession, 3, and finally a monk begging for alms. So these sights so moved him that he at once became a beggar and went out into the world to seek enlightenment concerning the sorrows he had witnessed. So though this line is not required, you can answer till here. Now let us move to the next series of questions. Now look at questions given under 9. Answer any two of the following questions in about 40 to 50 words each. Look at question A. How did Hari Singh justify to himself he is stealing Anil's money? So let us go to the chapter, The Thief's Story. These lines are answer to this question. And that is why it was difficult to, no, not this one. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself. No, not this one also. This one. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself. I am out of practice. And if I don't take the money, this is justification number one. He will only waste it on his friends. So this is justification number one. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So he is planning to steal Anil's money because he thinks that if he does not steal the money, Anil will waste his money on his friends. Reason number one. And secondly, he says that because he doesn't pay him for his work, so it is justified to steal his money. So proper points will be this paragraph. Now let us move on to the next question. Look at question B. How did a bride's mother help him become a scientist? So let us go to the chapter, Making of a Scientist. So this is the part of the story that you have to read. From the start, he had a driving curiosity along with a bright mind. He also had a mother who encouraged him. So his mother encouraged his interest in learning. One, she took him on trips, bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials and other equipment, and helped him in many other ways. Next point, she was his only companion until he started school. His mother said, and then this also, you can use this also, you should read it, it's a very important part of the story. And his mother's role is often asked in most board examinations. So you read this underlined part because you can get even a long answer type question from the same part. Now let us move to the next question. Again this question, C. Why was Mr. Harriet shocked at Tricky's appearance? So you go to the first paragraph of the story, A Triumph of Surgery, and you can get all the important points that you should use in answer to this question. Now let us move on to long answer type questions. Answer any one of the following questions in about 100 to 120 words. The people and surroundings are a great book to learn from. Valley in the lesson, Madam rides the bus, learns a lot from others. Mention the traits of her character which help her to learn from people and her surroundings. 1. Mandela said, people must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. Discuss. So of the two, I think you should go for option B. So I am taking you to Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. So this paragraph needs to be studied by you for answering that question. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. So this is the part of this paragraph which has been used in making that question. So you read it and create your own answer. Now let us move on to the next question. Now let us discuss question number 11. Answer any one of the following questions in about 100 to 120 words. Mamloisel's disposition invites her doom. Elucidate with reference to the text. And B. Voli was believed to be a dumb cow. What turned her into a fearless, bold and confident girl? So both questions are equally easy, and I think this will be easier for you to write. So let me take you to the part of the story. For answering this question, you need to read this part and pick out important points, and then this part of the story as well, right? And finally, when she has to work very hard, right? The entire story is to be read and pick out important points for answering this question, because it needs all the important points starting from borrowing the necklace from her friend to losing and then working and paying for it. So it is not a single sentence or paragraph. Here you need to read this part and create this answer. So this is all about the set. In next class, I am going to discuss next set. So it's all about set number 2.